The wall clock in the Stillwater County morgue had stopped at 3:17 in the morning. Deputy Karen Aldis noticed it the moment she pushed through the door, the second hand frozen mid-tick, the overhead LED panels humming their flat white light across an empty room that was not empty anymore. A woman lay on the stainless steel examination table, eyes closed, hands folded across her sternum. Dark hair fanned around her shoulders as if someone had arranged each strand with a comb. She wore a simple white cotton dress, no shoes, no jewelry, no visible wound. Her expression was not slack the way the dead usually look. It was composed, serene, as though she had chosen to lie down here and simply stopped breathing. Karen reached for her radio. Her thumb hesitated on the transmit button. In 11 years on the overnight shift, she had responded to bar fights, cattle on the highway, one methamphetamine fire that took a double-wide trailer and both occupants. She had never responded to anything like this. She keyed the radio and called it in. Dr. Emil Vasquez arrived 40 minutes later, pulling latex gloves on before he was through the door. He circled the table once without touching anything. Then he crouched and examined the lock on the morgue's rear entrance. No tool marks, no scratches, no sign of forced entry whatsoever. He looked at Karen over the rim of his glasses and said, "Someone had a key." The surveillance system had recorded nothing, not a malfunction. The hard drive had been removed, cleanly. The cable ends were capped, as though the system had been professionally decommissioned. Whoever had brought this woman here understood the building's layout, its security, its blind spots. They had moved through it like someone who belonged. Vasquez began the autopsy at dawn. No toxicology hits, no trauma, no disease markers, no cause of death he could name. The woman's fingerprints returned 0 matches in AFIS. Her dental records matched no file in any database across 47 states. Her DNA entered CODIS and vanished into silence. She was, by every metric available to forensic science, no one. Karen pinned the case photos to the corkboard behind her desk. The white dress, the folded hands, the serene face under clinical light. She stared at them during slow shifts, and the photos stared back. She began calling dental offices in neighboring counties, faxing the woman's dental chart to every practice within 200 miles. No one recognized the work. Then came the tire tracks. A rancher repairing fence along Highway 12 at mile marker 41 found a single set of tire impressions in the soft gravel shoulder. Fresh, deep, consistent with a heavy vehicle that had stopped, idled, and pulled away in the early hours of the same night. Karen drove out and photographed them herself. In the dust beside the tracks, she found a single synthetic fiber, pale blue, less than a centimeter long, caught on a barb of the fence wire. She bagged the fiber. She cast the tire impression. She submitted both to the state crime lab and waited. For the first time in weeks, Karen felt something loosen in her chest. This was a thread, thin but real, connecting the impossible scene in the morgue to a vehicle, a road, a direction of travel. Sheriff Dale Pruitt called her into his office on a Tuesday morning. He sat behind his desk with his hat off and his hands folded in a posture she recognized. The posture of a man about to close a door. He said, Karen asked about the fiber. We're moving this to inactive. Pruitt told her the chain of custody paperwork had gaps. The tire cast had been stored improperly. The state lab would not process compromised evidence. The thread she had found was already cut. Karen did not argue. She had watched Pruitt close cases before. Unsolved files embarrassed the department. Budgets depended on clearance rates. The woman on the table had no family pressing for answers, no media attention, no political pressure. She had no name. In Pruitt's calculus, she barely existed, but Karen took the case file home. She set it on the desk in her spare bedroom, under the amber glow of a single lamp. She pinned sticky notes to the wall, a timeline of the night, a list of every employee who had ever held a key to the morgue, a map of Highway 12 with mile marker 41 circled in red. She called dental offices in Idaho, then Wyoming, then the Dakotas. Every call ended the same way. No match. Dr. Vasquez came by one evening. He stood in the doorway of her home office and looked at the wall of notes without speaking. Then he said, "Whoever left her arranged her hair." Karen nodded. She already knew. Vasquez continued quietly. "That is not disposal. That is presentation. Someone wanted her found exactly as she was. They wanted her to look peaceful." He paused. "That means someone loved her, and that someone has not come forward." The question settled into the room like cold air through a cracked window. If someone had loved this woman enough to compose her body with that kind of care, to arrange her hair, fold her hands, choose a clean white dress, then why had no one in any database, any dental office, any missing persons registry ever reported her gone? Years passed. The corkboard in the sheriff's office was cleared. New cases covered the old ones. Pruitt retired. A new sheriff inherited the filing cabinets and saw a cold case number and moved on. Karen kept working. Not every night, but most. She would sit at her desk after her shift ended, the lamp casting its small circle of warm light, and she would open the file. The woman's face looked up at her from the photograph, eyes closed, expression composed, lying under LED panels in a room she had never entered alive. Karen would study the face and try to hear a name in the silence. The silence held. One night, Karen looked up from the file and noticed the clock on her desk. It read 3:17. She stared at it for a long moment, then closed the folder and pressed her palm flat against its surface, as if she could hold the woman inside it, keep her from disappearing further into the dark. Somewhere in Stillwater County, a morgue sits quiet. The clock on the wall has never been repaired. The examination table has been cleaned and used 100 times since. But in Karen Aldis's spare bedroom, the lamp still burns. The file remains open, and a woman with no name waits, serene and still, for someone to say who she was.